What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Hockey on the Spot with Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 92 of Hockey on the Spot. However, it is my 100th video on YouTube. So, yay me! Great accomplishment. I'm really happy. It's not my 100th episode of Hockey on the Spot. It's episode 92 once again, but my 100th video overall. So we'll make this episode a really special one for sure. 8 games last night on a day that's normally not active, but to make up for the inactive Thursday night. And a bunch of updates as well, starting with an update on Colorado Avalanche goaltender Semyon Varlamov, who did get the start last night against the Dallas Stars. Varlamov, who faces charges of domestic assault and kidnapping, spent Wednesday night in jail. NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly states that at this point we are monitoring the developing legal situation and do not intend to intervene in that process. There may come a point in time where we feel it is either necessary or appropriate to take a different approach, but that's not where we are right now. We are and will remain in close contact with the club, and we'll see how the underlying facts unfold. So the situation with Varlamov getting real interesting now. So we'll see what happens with him. The Los Angeles Kings have placed forward Jeff Carter on IR. Big loss for the LA Kings. He is arguably the best pure goal scorer on the team, and they're going to miss his shot. That's for sure. The Detroit Red Wings have signed Zach Nastashuk to a 3-year entry-level contract. The Vancouver Canucks have signed both Henrik and Daniel Sedin to 4-year contracts worth $28 million, or about $7 million a year, average a year. We knew this was going to happen at some point, so for those of you hoping that you're going to get the Sedin twins on your team, or at least one of them, you can get those thoughts out of your head. The Sedin twins will remain in Vancouver at least for another 4 years. This is where they want to retire when they are done playing. And let's face it, that would be big losses for the Vancouver Canucks, those two. Everything that they do together is just unstoppable. San Jose Sharks rookie Thomas Hertl has been named the NHL Rookie of the month of October, and well-deservingly so. He definitely was the best rookie in the month of October. That is for sure. Toronto Maple Leafs forward Carter Ashton has been suspended for 2 games for that hit. So well-deserved suspension. The San Jose Sharks have raised over $23,000 for Brent Burns' buzz cut in support of Movember, the Katie Moore Foundation, and defending the blue line. Great accomplishment for him and the Sharks. That's good. The Los Angeles Kings had their 76th straight sellout. Will have their 76th straight sellout on Saturday, breaking a franchise mark set during the Wayne Gretzky era in the early 1990s. That is a big accomplishment for the LA Kings. The Ontario Hockey League Player of the Month is 2015 NHL Draft top prospect Connor McDavid of the Erie Otters with 23 points in just 10 games, scoring 4 goals and a league-high 19 assists. This is a pure playmaker right here, folks. Plays a very similar style to that of Sidney Crosby, and he will be a star in the league when he breaks out. The Los Angeles Kings have placed defenseman Keenan Ellerby on waivers. He will be a good pickup for a team that needs depth on their blue line. He is a shutdown defenseman, and there are teams out there who need blue liners, let's face it. The Winnipeg Jets have placed defenseman Mark Stewart on IR and have recalled Julian Melchiori from the St. John's Ice Caps of the American Hockey League. Big loss for the Winnipeg blue line, as Stewart is without question the most physical defenseman on their team. The AHL has named the Texas Stars Travis Moran, Syracuse Crunch Nikita Kucherov, and Norfolk Admirals John Gibson as the award winners for the month of October. Travis Moran was named Player of the Month Nikita Kucherov is Rookie of the Month, and John Gibson is Goalie of the Month. So well-deserved for those three of the American Hockey League. So really, really good. Philadelphia Flyers forward Steve Downey has suffered a concussion and has been sent to the hospital as a result of his first game as a Flyer. Well, sort of first game. Meanwhile, Vincent Lecavalier will also be sidelined due to facial injuries. Couple big losses for the Flyers, in particular Vinny Lecavalier. He has been their best player all year long. Downey, again, just acquired from the Avs, a player who was playing on their top line in exchange for a player with Stanley Cup experience. So that's bad for the Flyers, that's for sure. Philadelphia Flyers goaltender Ray Emery showed Washington Capitals goaltender Braden Holtby the brotherly love last night. Emery says Holtby didn't want to fight, but I said basically protect yourself. I didn't really have much of a choice. So we'll get more into that as we continue to talk. The Halifax Mooseheads beat the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies 15-5 last night in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. Tampa Bay Lightning prospect Jonathan Drouin had 2 goals and an assist. 15-5, that is nuts. Just nuts. And the last update is that the Calgary Flames have placed goaltender Joey McDonald on waivers. It is being reported that they will recall goaltender Rito Berra from the American Hockey League. That'll be interesting to see for sure. And of course, tonight, another legend will have his name high in the rafters as former Vancouver Canuck, Florida Panther, and New York Ranger forward Pavel Bure will have his name and number raised. By the Canucks, his number 10 will go up in the rafters at long last. Semyon Varlamov did play in the game against the Dallas Stars, stopping 27 of 29 shots and earned the overtime victory despite everything that's transpired with alleged domestic assault charges. The Avs are now 11-1-0. Varlamov says, I got such good teammates, so I don't think about what's happening. I said before, no comments on that. I feel very comfortable today. The team and me played a good game. And last but not least, St. Louis Blues head coach Ken Hitchcock earned NHL wins 613, tying him for 10th on the all-time wins list with Jacques Martin. And we'll get more into those couple things in a bit here. Now we are going to talk about the games from last night, 8 games last night. Starting with the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers in Philadelphia. Caps without Alex Ovechkin for last night's game as he is out and day-to-day with an injury. And that didn't seem to bother the Caps one bit. They end up not only beating the Philadelphia Flyers, but destroying them on their own ice by their final score of 7-0. Unreal, that is. That is just unreal. The Washington Capital goals being scored by Nicholas Backstrom, assisted by Martin Erat and Nate Schmidt. Then Joel Ward would get his 4th of the year, the first of a hat-trick performance. Joel Ward had a hat-trick in the game, his 4th, 5th, and 6th of the year, respectively. The first one assisted by Jason Chimera and Mikhail Grabowski. Mikhail Grabowski, 3 assists on the night. Then Jason Chimera would get his 5th of the year, assisted by Mikhail Grabowski. Chimera had a goal and 2 assists. That line contributing 9 points in last night's action. Then Nicholas Backstrom would get his 2nd of the game. He had a 2-goal night, assisted by Eric Fair and Martin Erat. Then Joel Ward would get his 2nd assist of the night, assisted by Mikhail Grabowski and Jason Chimera. Actually, take that back. Jason Chimera, a goal and 3 assists, so a 4-point night for him. So 10 points contributed by that line. Then Troy Brouwer would get himself a power play goal, assisted by Mike Green and Nicholas Backstrom. 2 goals and 1 assist for Nicholas Backstrom. And then on the power play, Joel Ward would complete the hat trick, assisted by Jason Chimera and Eric Fair. Braden Holtby got the starting goal and led the way to a 30-save shutout, while also putting up 5 penalty minutes. That's very interesting, for sure. That is very interesting for sure. For the Philadelphia Flyers, Steve Mason would get the start in goal. Did not go well. 14 saves on 17 shots, just 14 saves on just 17 shots, an .824 save percentage. Ray Emery steps in his place and doesn't do any better. Just 11 saves on just 15 shots, a .733 save percentage. And now let's talk about the penalties in the game. First let's talk about the point producers. Pretty much everybody who scored, with the exception of 3 players, had multi-point nights. Troy Brouwer, Mike Green, and Nate Schmidt all only had 1 point. Brouwer a goal, Green and Schmidt an assist each. But everyone else, Martin Erat, 2 assists. Eric Fair, 2 assists. Nicholas Backstrom, 2 goals and 1 assist, a 3-point night for him. Jason Chimera, a goal and 3 assists, a 4-point night for him. Joe Ward, 3 goals, a hat trick. That's 3 points for him automatically. Mikhail Grabowski, 3 assists. That's 3 points automatically as well. So that line of Joe Ward, Jason Chimera, and Mikhail Grabowski contributing 10 points, which tells you that that line's probably going to be together for quite a while. That's for sure. So yes, Joel Ward was named the first star of the game, with Nicholas Backstrom being named the second star. Ray Emery was named the third star of the game, and I completely do not understand why. He definitely should not be a star. That should be Jason Chimera. That's for sure. Jason Chimera was one of the best players on the ice. And yet the funny thing is, Joel Ward, the only player to exceed 4 shots on goal, he had 5 shots on goal for the Caps. That led the game in all players on both teams. John Carlson, 4 shots. For the Flyers, Steve Downey had 4 shots before getting injured. Wayne Simmons had... That's 4 hits. I'm sorry. Luke Shen had 4 shots for the Flyers. That led them. Just not a good night for the Flyers, though. And now let's talk about the penalties. The penalties in the game. Again, Steve Downey left the game with a concussion. Nothing really going on in the first period. In the second period, Steve Downey and Aaron Volpatti both got into fights. Both got into a brawl, and Downey was assessed 17 minutes in penalties. That led all Flyer forwards and defensemen in penalty minutes. And then in the third period is where all hell broke loose. At 5:31 into the third period, a line brawl. Alexander Urbom, Aaron Volpatti, Steve Alexi, and Tom Wilson and Braden Holtby for the Capitals. For the Flyers, Zach Ronaldo, Vincent Lecavalier, Ray Emery, Braden Shen, Wayne Simmons. That a line brawl. Let's take a look at these penalty minutes now. Starting with the Capitals. Aaron Volpatti, 17 minutes in penalties. That led the Caps in penalty minutes and tied for all forwards and defensemen on both teams. Tied with Steve Downey. Alexander Urbom, 15 minutes in penalties. Steve Alexi, 15 minutes in penalties. Tom Wilson and Braden Holtby each had 5. Carl Alsner had 4. A couple of minors. For the Flyers, Wayne Simmons, only 5 minutes. But now the rest. Steve Downey, 17 minutes, although he was not involved in that brawl. He left the game much before that. Braden Shen, 15 minutes in penalties. Zach Ronaldo, 12 minutes in penalties. Vincent Lecavalier, 15 minutes in penalties. But the man who led all players on the ice in penalty minutes last night, surprisingly enough, was Philadelphia backup goaltender number 29, Ray Emery, who number 29 led the game with 29 minutes in penalties. Ray Emery, 29 minutes in penalties. That led all players on the ice. Let's take a look at some of these penalties. A 10-minute misconduct for Ray Emery. A game misconduct. A 2-minute. That's another 10 minutes. Goalie leaving the crease. That's 2 minutes. An instigating minor. That's 2 minutes. And a fighting major. That's 5 minutes. So 5. So 2. So yes. So 2 10-minute misconducts, pretty much. A 5-minute fighting major and 2 minors. 2-minute minor penalties. That's basically a double minor. That's crazy. So a very rough game. Flyers not happy. Neither are their fans. They got destroyed. Hopefully Steve Downey will be okay. And who knows, we could end up seeing some suspensions from this game. We'll see what the league has, NHL player safety. We'll see what Brendan Shanahan has to say about this. But either way, congrats to the Washington Capitals. Next, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Sidney Crosby in the lineup, unlike Alex Ovechkin for the Caps. And Penguins lead the way and Evgeny Malkin leads the way to a 4-2 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets on home ice. Pittsburgh goals being scored by Chris Kunitz on the power play, assisted by Paul Martin and Sidney Crosby. Then Brandon Sutter would get his second of the year and second straight, assisted by Tanner Glass and Craig Adams. Then Chris Letang would get a power play goal, assisted by Matt Niskanen and Evgeny Malkin. And then Jason Megna would get his second NHL goal, assisted by Jussi Jokinen and Evgeny Malkin. Marc-Andre Fleury, very good once again. 37 saves on 39 shots, 949 save percentage. Brilliant performance for him. Robert Bortuzzo led the Penguins and the game with 6 shots on goal. A shutdown defenseman with that many shots. That doesn't happen much. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, their goals being scored by Derek McKenzie, his first of the year. Derek McKenzie assisted by Nick Foligno and Jack Johnson. And then Ryan Johansson would get his fourth of the year, assisted by R.J. Umberger and James Wisniewski. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, Sergei Bobrovsky would get the start in net, and not a Sergei Bobrovsky type performance, that's for sure. Just 10 saves on just 13 shots, a 769 save percentage. Curtis McElhaney comes in relief, does a little better, but not good enough to get to change the game. 13 saves on 14 shots, a 929 save percentage. And the shots for the Blue Jackets, lots of shooters, few guys with 5 shots on goal. Cam Atkinson, Brandon Dubinsky, and James Wisniewski, each with 5 shots on goal. 3 guys. That's unbelievable. But anyway, congratulations to the Pittsburgh Penguins on a huge win. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. The Lightning coming up big with a 3-0 shutout victory as the Hurricanes continue to struggle without their 2 signature goaltenders. Tampa Bay goals being scored by Victor Hedman, his second of the year, assisted by Nate Thompson, his first assist of the year, and B.J. Crombeen. Then Steven Stamkos would get his 10th of the year, assisted by Alex Killorn and Martin St. Louis. And then Alex Killorn would put the game away, assisted by Martin St. Louis. A goal and an assist for Alex Killorn, 2 assists for Marty St. Louis. St. Louis led the game with 7 shots on goal. Good job for him. Actually, I take that back. I take that back. Steven Stamkos actually led the game with 9 shots on goal. Marty St. Louis, 7. Just a shooting gallery for those 2. Ben Bishop, brilliant once again. A 31 save shutout for him, so congratulations to him. For the Carolina Hurricanes, Justin Peters got the starting goal, and he played the entire game. 29 saves and 32 shots, a 906 save percentage, which aren't the worst statistics I've ever seen, but still not great performance. For the Hurricanes, Eric Stahl and Alexander Semin led the team with 5 shots on goal each. However, leading the game overall in hits, Tim Gleason and Tuomo Ruutu, both with 5 hits in the game. So congratulations to those 2. Radko Gudas leading the game with 4 blocked shots. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning on a big win. Next, we have the New York Islanders and the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. The Islanders coming up huge with a 5-4 victory in a shootout at Canadian Tire Center. For the New York Islanders, they were down 2-0 and 4-2, so they powered 2 comebacks. So 2 comebacks on the night for them. For the New York Islanders, John Tavares would get it started, his 5th of the year, assisted by Thomas Vanek and Kyle Oposo. Vanek's 6th assist of the year and his first point in a New York Islanders sweater. Congratulations to him. Then Matt Martin would tie the game at 2, assisted by Matt Carkner and Brock Nelson. Then after 2 Ottawa goals, Pierre-Marc Bouchard would get his 2nd of the year, assisted by Matt Donovan and Kyle Oposo. And then Franz Nielsen, who's had a huge season for the Islanders, gets his 8th of the year to lead the team in goals to tie up the game at 4, assisted by Thomas Hickey and Pierre-Marc Bouchard. For the Ottawa Senators, their goals being scored by Eric Condra, his 1st of the year, assisted by Derek Grant, his 1st NHL assist and his 1st NHL point. Congratulations to him. Then Mika Zibanejad would put up his 3rd of the year, assisted by Erik Karlsson and Chris Phillips. Then Bobby Ryan would get his 7th of the year, assisted by Patrick Wierkosh and Erik Karlsson. And then Clark MacArthur, at long last, in a goal that was under review, ended up counting. Clark MacArthur would get his 1st in a New York Islanders his 1st in an Ottawa Senators sweater, assisted by Bobby Ryan and Kyle Turris. In the shootout, Franz Nielsen, the all-time leading scorer in the history of the shootout, would score the only shootout goal. Thomas Vanek was the only other shooter for the Islanders, but Nielsen powering the way to a win. Jason Spezza, Milan Michalek, and Bobby Ryan all tried for the Sens. They would all miss. For the New York Islanders, Evgeny Nabokov got the start, and he made 27 saves on 31 shots, an .871 save percentage. So not the best performance for Nabokov, for Nabby, but he still gets the win. The Islanders just, though, completely outshooting the Sens in this game. Robin Lehner got the start for the Sens, and for the 3rd time this season, the Sens giving up 50 or more shots on goal. 53 saves on 57 shots for Robin Lehner, a .930 save percentage. He kept, despite letting up 4 goals, you cannot say that that's a bad performance, because that was not by any means. Kyle Turris led the Ottawa Senators with 5 shots on goal, the only guy to get that many on the team. As far as hits are concerned, Zach Smith 5, Chris Neal 6, Bobby Ryan, Colin Greening, and Eric Gryba each had 4. For the Islanders, Kyle Oposo led the team with 6 shots. Thomas Vanek, John Tavares, and Pierre-Marc Bouchard each had 5 shots on goal. And Matt Carkner and Franz Nielsen both had 4 hits. Kyle Clutterbuck had 6, Matt Martin 8, that led the game, and Casey Cizikas with 5. And then, how about Andrew McDonald, 7 blocked shots in the game. That's unreal right there. Kyle Oposo and Pierre-Marc Bouchard, both multi-point performances, 2 assists for Oposo, a goal and an assist for Bouchard. For the Sens, a goal and an assist for Bobby Ryan, 2 assists for Erik Karlsson. So good night for both teams overall, but better for the Islanders, and the Sens will look back on this and think to themselves why they let this one slip away. Robin Lehner, though, commend him for these amazing performances that are all resulting in losses. So, congratulations to the New York Islanders. Next, we have the St. Louis Blues and the Florida Panthers in Florida. Another shutout victory here. The Blues coming up big with that one. 4-0 the final in favor of the Blues. Blues goals being scored by Derek Roy, assisted by Chris Stewart and Kevin Shattenkirk. Then Chris Stewart would get his 1st of the season, assisted by Barrett Jackman, his 1st assist of the year and 1st point of the year, and Vladimir Sobotka. Then Alex Pietrangelo would get his 3rd of the year on the power play, assisted by David Backes and Jay Bomeister. And then Alexander Steen scores yet another goal, his 12th of the year, assisted by TJ Oshie and David Backes. Unreal. The kind of season that Alexander Steen is having. Chris Stewart, a goal and an assist. David Backes, 2 assists. They're all only multi-point performers. Jay Bomeister, 5 shots on goal. That led all players on both teams. So there you have it there. Brian Elliott got the start and goal for the Blues and was magnificent. He led the way to a 31-save shutout. So congratulations to him. For the Florida Panthers, Sean Matthias and Brad Boyes leading the team with 4 shots on goal. Jacob Markstrom getting the start and goal. Not a good night for him by any means. Just 19 saves on 23 shots and .826 save percentage. So congratulations to the St. Louis Blues on a huge night. Next we have the Montreal Canadiens and the Minnesota Wild. The Wild coming up big with a 4-3 victory at home. For the Minnesota Wild, their goals being scored by Justin Fontaine, his 4th of the year, assisted by Keith Ballard and Torrey Mitchell. Then Jason Pominville would score the first of 2 goals he would have on the night, assisted by Michael Granlund. Then Nino Niederreiter would get his 3rd of the year, assisted by Michael Granlund and Jason Pominville, his first assist of the season at long last. And then Jason Pominville would get his 2nd of the game, assisted by Zach Parise and Keith Ballard. So a bunch of multi-point performers. Keith Ballard, 2 assists. Jason Pominville, 2 goals and an assist, a 3-point night for him. Michael Granlund, 2 assists. Justin Fontaine, 5 shots on goal to lead the team in that respect. Josh Harding got the start and was really good. 28 saves on 31 shots, a .903 save percentage. Congrats to him. For the Montreal Canadiens, their goals being scored by Brendan Gallagher, assisted by Alex Galchenyuk and Andrei Markov. Then PK Subban would get a power play goal, assisted by Andrei Markov. And then the captain, Brian Giunta, would get his 4th, assisted by Andrei Markov and PK Subban. So 3 assists on the night for Andrei Markov, a goal and an assist for PK Subban. Brian Giunta having 5 shots on goal, Brendan Gallagher 4. PK Subban leading all players with 7 shots. So he had a shooting gallery. Carey Price, not a great night for him. 21 saves on 25 shots and .840 save percentage. Jason Pominville, without question, the best player on the ice. So congratulations to the Minnesota Wild. The Canadiens never led in the game. Congrats to the Wild. Next, we have the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars in Dallas. Again, Semyon Varlamov getting the start in goal. As I said earlier, despite everything that happened, he was very good. 27 saves on 29 shots to lead the way to a 3-2 overtime victory in Dallas. Avalanche goals being scored by Paul Stastny. He had 2 goals in the game, assisted by Alex Tanguay and Jan Hayda, his first assist of the season. Then Gabriel Landeskog would get up on the board, assisted by Nathan MacKinnon. And then in OT, Paul Stastny got his 2nd of the game, assisted by Nate Gennon and Ryan Wilson. Gabriel Landeskog, 7 penalty minutes to lead the game. But how about the shots? Matt Duchene, his point streak came to an end, but he had 8 shots on goal. That led all players on both teams. 4 shots each for Nate MacKinnon and Gabriel Landeskog. 5 hits for Ryan Wilson. That's big for them. And again, Semyon Varlamov, again, 27 saves and 29 shots, a .931 save percentage, improving to 8-1-0. Congrats to Varley, despite with everything that's going on. For the Dallas Stars, again, they were actually trailing the game 2-0, but came back to tie it in the 3rd period. Dallas goals being scored by Alex Goligoski, assisted by Tyler Seguin and Rich Peverly. And then Tyler Seguin would get himself up on the board, assisted by Rich Peverly and Jamie Benn. So good for the Stars. Alex Chasen had 5 penalty minutes to lead the team. Tyler Seguin, 5 shots on goal, a goal and an assist. Rich Peverly, 2 assists in the game. Paul Stastny, 2 goals. Those are all the multi-point performers for both teams. Antoine Roussel, 4 shots on goal. Kari Lehtinen was good. Despite the loss, Kari Lehtinen was actually really good. 26 saves and 29 shots and .897 save percentage. However, Kari Lehtinen may just have what could be the save of the year. Whirl around pad save on, I believe, John Mitchell. Yes, on John Mitchell. John Mitchell thought he had it. Everyone thought he had it. But Lehtinen coming up with a near impossible save. Unreal. And last but not least, we have the Detroit Red Wings and the Calgary Flames in Calgary. The Red Wings coming up big with a 4-3 win in Calgary. Detroit never trailed in the game. They did surrender a 2-0 lead to a tie, but nothing that getting 2 more goals couldn't handle. For the Red Wings, their goals being scored by Pavel Datsyuk, assisted by Todd Bertuzzi and Jakob Kindl. Then Henrik Zetterberg would get his 7th, assisted by Todd Bertuzzi and Pavel Datsyuk. Then, after the Flames tied it, Thomas Tatar would get his 2nd of the year, assisted by Joachim Andersen and Niklas Kronwall. And then Justin Abdelkader's 2nd of the year would be the game-winning goal, assisted by Niklas Kronwall and Danny DeKeyser. For the Red Wings, Todd Bertuzzi, 5 shots on goal. No one else had really any standout stats. Pavel Datsyuk, a goal and an assist. Todd Bertuzzi, 2 assists. Niklas Kronwall, 2 assists. Jimmy Howard was solid. 22 saves on 25 shots and .880 save percentage. So, congrats to the Red Wings. For the Calgary Flames, their goals being scored by Chris Butler, his 1st goal of the season, assisted by Jiri Hudler and Derek Smith. And for Derek Smith, his 1st point of the season. Then Sean Monahan would get his 7th of the year, ending a little slump that was going on, assisted by Mike Camilleri and Chris Russell. And then Curtis Glencross would get his 4th of the year, assisted by Matt Stajan and Jiri Hudler. Curtis Glencross, 5 shots on goal to lead the Flames. No one else had any standout stats. Jiri Hudler, 2 assists on the night. Joey McDonald got the start, and it was not a good night for him by any means. Just 18 saves on 22 shots and .818 save percentage, which tells you why Joey McDonald would be waived. Next, and that is all the games. Congratulations to the Detroit Red Wings. We actually just have got a couple more updates that I'm going to talk about. The Detroit Red Wings have activated for Darren Helm off IR as he is expected to make his season debut tonight. Detroit has also placed defenseman Jonathan Ericsson on long-term injured reserve. Expect a trade in the near future when Ericsson is healthy to return. And last but not least, the Colorado Avalanche will retire Adam Foote's number 52 to the rafters tonight. Foote, a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, appeared in more regular season games and playoff games than any D-man defenseman in Colorado Avalanche franchise history. 967 regular season games and 170 playoff games. What an accomplishment, and well-deserved to have his number retired. Congratulations to him. Now, and last but not least, folks, let's get to it. This day in hockey history from November 2nd. In 1996, Patrick Waugh of the Colorado Avalanche and Dominik Hasek of the Buffalo Sabres recorded shutouts in a 0-0 tie game between the Colorado Avalanche and Buffalo Sabres. For Patrick Waugh, it was his 33rd career shutout, and for Dominik Hasek, it was his 15th career shutout. These 2 goaltenders belong among the best goaltenders in the history of the NHL. In total, Dominik Hasek has 81 shutouts in the regular season and 14 shutouts in the playoffs. Patrick Waugh has 66 shutouts in the regular season and 23 shutouts in the playoffs. What an accomplishment by the goaltenders. In what was a 0-0 tie in which the goaltenders were the stars. Congratulations to those 2 for sure. And that will do it, folks. Will do it for this day in hockey history, and that will also do it for episode 92 and video number 100 of Hockey on the Spot. This has been Hockey on the Spot, Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great day.